Alright, Boris. Now all you gotta do is input those codes, and we're golden. Oh, hello there. I didn't see you there. Was just playing a bout of Goldeneye. How can I help you today? You were looking to trade in your Nintendo Game Boy Advance SP? The one with the clamshell. Classic. Yes, I'm familiar. We can definitely help you out with that today. Just give me one moment here. Just want to make sure my game is paused and that I don't lose my progress. Perfect. Just put that down there. Alright, so we've got your merchandise here. I see you've got a Donkey Kong Country manual for your Game Boy Advance games. Do you have any other manuals today? Just the one? Well, even so, this is a great game, so it's worth its weight in gold. Oh, Cranky Kong. There's some good stuff in here. Oh man. The original Game Boy Advance. Now that's a throwback. Did you have one of those? No, I didn't either. I had an SP as well. Yeah. There's something comforting about the click of that clamshell. Although it made it hard to stay up late and play games. We did try anyway, though, didn't we? Anyhow, well, let's take a look at the games you brought in. I'm getting all nostalgic about this manual, but we got work to do. Well, I do anyway. But, you know, when your job's this fun, it doesn't really feel like work. Yeah, you know it is, yeah. Alright, well, you've got your Game Boy Advance SP, the clamshell here. It is a little bit of wear and scuff on the outside, as I'm sure you're aware, but just making sure that we're fully transparent about our assessment of the merchandise, so we can offer you a fair value. Sticks maybe a little bit, I'm not sure. Alright, well, we'll be gentle on that one. But, imagine the battery, yes, out of date, yeah. But you do have the charger here. Alright, well, with the charger, but the battery not working, we'll have to take a little bit off for the battery being out of order, as we will have to replace that, but having the charger is very handy, as that should still be in fairly good working order. So, what manner of games do you have hidden in this treasure chest? By the way, this case, it's lovely. It's got some staining on it, but it's well loved, well used, I'm sure. We can get that out with a little spot cleaner as well. Yeah. No shame in that. I know I myself love to do some snacking while I game. Well, first up, looks like we've got American Skateland. Now, did you play the console version of that as well, American Wasteland, or you've just played American Skateland? Okay. Well, I would highly recommend checking out American Wasteland if you've got the opportunity. Did you know which games you were thinking about buying? Not sure yet. You were thinking about some for the PS2 though? Okay, well, we do have American Wasteland for the PS2 if you did enjoy Skateland. They're very similar games. They're just kind of adapted more so to the mediums that they were for. So while the Game Boy Advanced one is a little bit more, I would say, limited, the console one offers a lot more expansiveness on a very similar gameplay, which is the build your own kind of park idea, where you grab stuff from around the Los Angeles and San Francisco areas and put that all together and make your own American Skateland, or Wasteland, I guess, in the console versions. I personally am only recently familiar with the console versions. I know it was kind of the fall off, or I guess that game wasn't the fall off, but it marked the final chapter of great Tony Hawk games before the fall off, because the ones after were not as popular. No, I didn't even buy them. No, yeah, exactly. I can't even remember what they are. But I do know that American Wasteland, Underground 2, 1, 2, 3, and 4, all classics. And then I think they introduced BMX, possibly even in this game, but it might have been even more of a focus in the later games, which is kind of why it fell off. A lot of people felt it went away from the kind of skateboarding focus. Nowadays you have all sorts of games like Steep and Riders Republic that offer that multi-craft, I guess you'd call them that, multi-vehicle, multi-recreational vehicle experience. Personally, I've had a lot of fun with both games. I'm personally more of a retro gamer, typically, but it's fun to sometimes play the newer titles here and there. Riders Republic and Steep, both offered some pretty fun gameplay. Another title I would recommend is the game Ollie Ollie World, which is a side-scroller skater, but it's really fun. It's more reminiscent of kind of the Tony Hawk arcade style skateboarding, as opposed to more of the skate simulation style that something like Skate or Session or, like I said, Riders, probably any of those kind of games would be bringing to the table. I personally think they both have their place, but again, if you prefer more arcade style, something like this, I think you're definitely going to enjoy Ollie Ollie World. So, they have that on Switch and PC. I didn't even ask if you have those. You've got both? Okay. Yeah, well, you should definitely check it out for both. It's more fun with a controller. I think you can play it on keyboard, just like some people do for Tony Hawk, which always wilds me out because it just feels illegal. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it brings some high-level gameplay, but I think that the feeling of a controller is more fluid and smooth, and it's a lot more laid back. It feels like you're gaming with friends. Exactly. Look at me yapping on. We got more games to go through, so let's take a look here. You've got a dual SpongeBob game. You've got SpongeBob Super Sponge and SpongeBob the Flying Dutchman, it looks like. So that's a good one. It's a dual game. I haven't given you the totals for these so far, so I can probably do 20 for American Skateland. I can do 10 for SpongeBob, and I can do, I probably should do 50 for this, but I can do 75. Yeah, just because you listen to my yapping. No, it's cool. I'm the manager. I have the authorization to do these kind of things. Yeah. Gotta look out for fellow gamers, you know? Yeah. No problem. Okay, just give me 1 second. I'm just gonna enter them in the system here so I don't forget. And have to enter them all at the end. So we got 75 for the system. Oh, you know what? The other reason, you gave me the charger too, so that's fair. Even though the battery doesn't work, we do have the charger, so that'll be nice for a potential future buyer. Yeah. So we got 75 for system plus charger. And then Tony Hawk Skateland. 420 and SpongeBob Duel. Here, let's use both hands. That's a little bit faster, eh? $410. So far you're looking at $105 for your trade-in value. That's not too bad. You'll be able to pick up a few different titles in the store, or you can keep a store credit for the future as well, or we can give you cash. It's all up to you. So next up we've got Donkey Kong Country here, which I was expecting because you did have the manual. It would be kind of weird if you had that, but you know, you didn't have the yeah, exactly. So this one's worth a little bit more. This one's 40 actually. DK 40. Yeah, that's a classic game actually. It's a remake of a game that originally came out on the Super Nintendo. I don't know if you had a chance to play the original. You didn't know that? Okay. Well, you learn something new every day. But yeah, it translates over fairly well. I would say that the graphics and sounds come really nice and kind of warm out of the Game Boy Advance. It's almost a little bit better on the Game Boy Advance, in my opinion, than it is on the Super Nintendo, unless of course you have a CRT TV for your Super Nintendo, and then you're cooking. But they're kind of hard to track down. So this is a great alternative for something lo-fi and warm. You play yourself some Donkey Kong Country on the Super Nintendo. Sorry, instead of the Super Nintendo. I'm getting all mixed up. All sorts of memories and nostalgia. I just love Donkey Kong Country. The old school rare games have a special place in my heart. I don't know if they made the second and third games for the Game Boy, but if they did, that would be pretty cool. If you wanted to check those out, like I said, those are on Super Nintendo as well. We do have a shipment of Super Nintendo games coming in at some point in the future, hopefully, if I can find a good supplier. Alright, onwards with our games. So next up we've got Barbie's Groovy Games. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. I thought that might be the case. Yeah. Yeah. It's like a minigame compendium, right? Yeah, it's a bunch of different... That's pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah, the Barbie games actually, they hold their value surprisingly well. This one's gonna be worth 30 actually. So yeah, I should be able to give you probably 15 for this one. Yeah, I think 15 would be fair. Would you be cool with that? 15? Alright. Yeah, sounds good. So I'll just put that with the stack here. And we'll move on to our next game here. So it looks like this one actually is for the original Game Boy. And this is Super Mario Land 2, the 6 golden coins. So, that's pretty neat. That is pretty neat. Let me see, I have to look this one up actually. Okay, so Super Mario 2 6 coins. Okay, so it looks like I can give you 30 for that one. Does that sound fair? You're okay with that? Perfect. So we'll put 30 for that one, and I didn't put down the Barbie price, so I gotta do that too. Alright. Looks like you got 2 more games in here. We got the Sims 2, which this is a classic. This one is kind of more of an adventure RPG based game, as I'm sure you're aware having played it, but I just think it's such an interesting departure from the PC gameplay, that you have like a character that you control, just kind of like the one, and the way you earn money is completely different. You have all these like quests you have to complete. You slowly upgrade your apartment, compared to the more simulator-based Sims. But the console and Game Boy ones always had, like I said, an interesting flavor and twist to them. I remember this one having a ton of really cool missions. I think there was like a really cool car you could get as well. There was like different mini games. There was a mine, aliens. There was all sorts of cool stuff. This game had tons of depth. So, glad to be adding this one to the store's collection, and I'm sure a future patron will be happy to add it to theirs. That one I should be able to give you $20. Yeah. And last up, we've got The Simpsons Road Rage. Oh yeah. Nice. You know, I was actually just talking to another customer about this the other day. The console version of this, it has like saved data. So as you progress and unlock more money, you unlock different characters and different levels. Whereas this one has like a password system. So there's a different level of difficulty and nostalgia. It's very it's a very niche experience, I would say, to have a special paper of codes written down to track your save progress. There was a Scooby-Doo game I had where you had to do something similar. Yeah, those were the days, huh? Alright, well, let's just total up your games here, and then we can, like I said, either offer you a store credit, or I can issue you some cash. You'd like to take a look around? Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, why don't you take a look around the store, and I'll just get all of this collected and finally inspected, and then we'll give you a total, and we can do a game trade-off there. How's that sound? Alright. Okay. We'll see you in a little bit. Okay. Alrighty, so it looks like your total is going to be $230 with system, charger, games. But then I also have the $10 manual bonus to give you, because you have the Donkey Kong Country manual. And I also have the $10 7-game trade-in bonus, because you have 7 games that you're trading in. It's just a special promotion we're doing for this week. Yeah, so just an extra $10 to put towards any game in the store of your choice. And just thought I would help you out there. So you've got $250 of store credit altogether there. Yeah, well, like I said, you're trading in 7, and it's our special promotion. So anyone who trades in more than 7 games right now gets the $10 store credit. It's just our way of saying thanks for helping keep the collection well stocked for everyone. Yeah. Alright, so you've got $250 total credit here. What games were you looking at taking home today? You had a couple games in mind? You just didn't see them around? Okay. What were you looking for? Okay. So first you had some controllers. Yeah, so I did just get a new shipment of those in. What kind of controller were you looking for? You were looking for a purple N64 controller? Okay, well that one actually I have right here. So that might be why. Yeah, no worries. It's always like hiding right in front of you, right? Yeah. No problem. Okay, so then I have a purple PS2 controller. Okay, those just came in fresh, so PS2 controller, N64 controller. So we're looking at about $100 so far. And you had some games in mind as well? You were looking for Rayman, Perfect Dark, and Goldeneye? Well, I just happen to be playing Goldeneye. So again, that one's on me. I'm not trying to hide it, I swear. I'll tell you what though, if you can beat me in a round, I'll give you an extra discount. Yeah. I'll warn you though, I'm kind of the champ around these parts. Yeah. But it's worth a shot. I won't take away. Yeah, it's not. It's not like I'm gonna add money if you lose or something, right? It's you only stand to gain. Yeah, you'll give it a go. Okay. So, tell you what. Why don't I test this out? Make sure this is in working order, and I can give you a trial of the 8-bit Do Premium controller, or if you'd like, you can test out your own controller. After I do a quick inspection here, of course, just for store purposes, and you can try to win in the classic. It's up to you. I just want to make sure that I don't have any unfair advantages. You'd like to go with the classic? Good choice. Okay. I'm just going to do a quick inspection here, make sure it's in working order, and then we'll play a quick round of Goldeneye to see if we can get you a discount here. So, the D-pads seem to be in working order. All 4 directionals. The omnidirectional pad is working. Our bumpers working. Our Z button is working. Yellow buttons all seem to be working. Maybe seems to be working. And pause button. Now, normally I would do a functionality test as well, but since we're going to be playing a game, I'll let you be the judge of that. Yeah. Alright, so you can pick the map as well. Oh, interesting. You're going with library. Okay. That's a fairly good choice. Not my best level, but I think I can manage. Yeah, I prefer bunker, to be honest. Yeah. No, it's okay. It's your choice. Yeah. Prepare to get cooked. Just getting warmed up here. Okay. I'm gonna go with James. You're an Natalia player? Okay, fair. Yeah, good choice. That's a good choice. Natalia's a classic. I always thought it was funny when you played in DK mode. It made all the characters look funny. Everyone had a really big head. Yeah. Alright. So, should we say first to 3? Yeah, that sounds good. Alright. Okay. Where are you? I heard you. No way! Oh, okay. Well, fair enough. That's 1-0. And I gotcha. 1-1. I couldn't let you get a shutout. Just feels so good. It's always fun to spin too, you know? Oh, proximity. Okay, proximity mine, that's a good play. That's a good play. But how about my remote mine? Ha ha ha. Yes. Now it's 2-2. Okay, well, this is it. This is for all the marbles and for the discount. And the title of Best James Bond Player. Goldeneye, of course. We got those 3 titles still too. But best Goldeneye player in the store. Alright. May the best gamer win. Yeah. You're pretty low. You're pretty low. No! Oh. Okay, well, good game. No, good game. Good game. No, that was well played. That was well played. Honestly, I appreciate it. You're just gonna have to come back for a rematch. I hope you understand. Yeah, but there are more discounts in it for you. Yeah. No, I'm not. I'm not selling that copy. I have another one in the back. Yeah, that's my personal copy. Yeah, I just like to play games at work sometimes. Yeah, it's one of the perks of the job. Okay, but yeah, you had a couple games in mind N64 wise, so and PS2 games as well, and PS2 games. Okay, so let's see here. You wanted Goldeneye, Perfect Dark, Rayman 2 for the N64, and Spider-Man 2, Road Rage, and American Wasteland. Nice. You're gonna kind of do the upgrades on your SP version, see what the console versions are all about. I like that. I like that. Yes. Yes, you have great taste. Yeah. Okay, so Road Rage, American Skateland, and Spider-Man 2. Great choice, by the way. Spider-Man 2, one of the best Spider-Man games of all time. I think even better than the new ones. There's a lot less cutscenes. It's just more pure gameplay. But I think the swinging system for the time was just revolutionary. So I'm just going to run and grab your games, put this away, and I'll be right back. Alright. So I've got your purple controller here. Let's just do a quick functionality test. Make sure that that works. Just gonna plug that in, and the indicator light is on, so we're good to go. And let's just make sure all the buttons work. We're all set. So square, triangle, circle, X work. Our joysticks, operational, they move in all directions, and they click. Our D-pad works, select and start, our two bumpers, and our two triggers. So I'll just wrap that up. And pass that over to you. Next up, we've got your N64 games. So we've got Rayman 2 here. We've got Goldeneye, which I don't think you need me to tell you much about, but great game. I think they remade it for the Xbox 360, but the original still holds as the best one. Yeah. Yeah, those graphics, they're great. Like I said, DK mode plus the graphics does it for me, but just really quality gameplay as well. I enjoy the strafing as well. The strafing is really good. Yeah, your strafing was phenomenal in that match. Yeah, another great rare game is Perfect Dark. This is another one that had an Xbox 360 version, although that was a sequel, not a remake. Or is it a prequel, I think? But it's Perfect Dark Zero is for the Xbox 360. Another amazing game. There's like hovercrafts, flying mechs, there's amazing multiplayer. There was like an infection mode where like you had these skeletons and they would try to infect all the other people, and so when you got infected you became a skeleton, and yeah, you wanted to try to not become a skeleton if you weren't a skeleton at the beginning of the round, and if you were a skeleton you wanted to turn other people into skeletons. It was like a cool infection mode, but with the vehicles and economy they had in the game, it added like a whole another level to the game. Great game, but that's not this one. That's Perfect Dark Zero. This one is it's widely considered a classic by many, although I couldn't personally get into it after playing Perfect Dark Zero. I still think you'll have a good time with it. It's a good shooter, but I think for me the expectations were really high because of the order I played them in. Yeah, no, exactly. It'd be like if you played one of these James Bonds before Goldeneye. You might not quite, yeah, you might miss the hype a little bit. You had to be there kind of thing. Yeah. Although, not always true, I guess. Some people do appreciate a classic for a classic, but for me personally, I couldn't get into it. But I think you're gonna have a great time, because the shooting mechanics were still really great. It was just it was a bit hard to read because of the graphics. By that point, I had already, like I said, graduated to Xbox 360 graphics, so taking a leap back at that stage of my life was a bit tough. I could maybe do it now, as an adult with a fully developed brain. I was only a teenager at the time. But anyways, that's my ramble about Perfect Dark. Your last Nintendo game is Rayman 2. Another classic. This one you do need a memory card for. Do you have a memory card? You do have one? You just didn't have the controller? Okay. Perfect. Just wanted to make sure. Because, yeah, I didn't have a memory card for the longest time, so every time I played Rayman, we would restart the game. And through that, I got incredibly good at the first sections of that game. But I barely ever even seen the last sections of the game. So, just working through that now on my Nintendo Switch. Because they have it on some of the Virtual Console stuff. Yeah. You like that stuff too? Yeah. There's a lot of good classics. Yeah. Alright, well, I'll pass these over to you. And lastly here, we've got your PlayStation 2 games. We've got Spider-Man 2, Road Rage, and American Wasteland. Just gonna pop these open real quick just to show you that everything is there. So this one comes with manual and game for American Wasteland. Don't need to talk too much about that. I mean, I've already given you the rundown. Like I said, it's just sort of a bigger, badder, console-oriented version of American Skateland. So if you liked Skateland, I think you're definitely gonna like Wasteland. Although some people say that they don't like the tunnel loading screens a lot. They think it's kind of like a cheap trick, but I didn't mind so much. Road Rage, again, if you like it for your Game Boy, you're gonna love it for the PlayStation 2. This one has saves, and the graphics are a little bit better, so it does read a little bit better than the Game Boy version of the game, but ultimately very similar gameplay loop, exact same, essentially. Just the way you store money between runs is different, again, due to that save state, so really getting an upgrade on that one, I think. And then this one, really, no introduction needs to be said, and I've already talked a little bit about the swinging mechanics, but I just gotta let you know there's so much more than just the swinging mechanics. There's pizza delivery missions, which are amazing. The song on that, again, the song on that alone could sell the game. But you also have your like random pedestrian missions, which you hear in purple, and those are like kind of time-limited events. So people losing their balloons, random muggings, or like crimes that just can happen on the street, like people's cars getting stolen. And then there's green question marks, and those are like more like citizen missions that you have to go up to them and ask them what's up. And again, there's a whole different variety of those as well. Some of them you get ambushed, some of them there's people falling from buildings, sometimes they have to go to the hospital. There's a whole variety of missions, and then there's a bunch of different like canon story missions that will sort of just interject when you've completed all of your main objectives, even if you're in the middle of working on something else, which is very typical, I would say, for how Peter Parker actually lives his life. So I think it did a really good job of capturing what it's like to be Peter, and it's a real upgrade from the first game as well. Now, that game is a classic as well, and they both have kind of this cheeky narrator. He's very sarcastic. He does the intro tutorials, and they brought him back for the second game. So the only reason I would say the first game is worth picking up is for the narrator, because the gameplay is kind of jank and more arcade-like in the first. Well, and there's also cheats, so you can be the Green Goblin, so that's pretty sick also. But the only problem is it's a lot easier to get one of these than it is to get a Spider-Man 1, or at least in my experience. They're kind of expensive, and like I said, for how much the gameplay advanced in this one, I don't know if you get your money's worth, like unless you were a collector or something, right? But either way, I think you're gonna have a great time with Spider-Man 2. It was basically the title that inspired the modern Spider-Man games. And that swing mechanic is, like I said, just beautiful. So, I'll pass you over your PlayStation 2 games. There you are. And was there anything else I could help you find today? You should be all set? Okay, so let's just total all of this up with your discount. It looks like your total is going to come to $250 exactly. Yeah. Yeah, pretty good discount, eh? Yeah. Well, it was an absolute pleasure gaming with you today, talking with you about some choice titles, and thank you so much for bringing in your choice collection of Game Boy Advance games and that one regular Game Boy game. That'll be great, like I said, to add to the store's collection, and I do wish you all the best on your gaming journey with your new titles. I hope to hear about them the next time you venture into our store. Alright, well, like I said, it's been an absolute pleasure. We'll see you next time. Alright, take care. Bye for now. Alright. Gotta restart that Boris mission. That's okay, he was gonna betray me anyway.